And the third element is the void place where the interaction takes place. Third, third element in this Chinese painting is the void place. A void place है where the interaction takes place. And lands in this mountains and water, these are represents the totally the world landscape. Represent the world landscape. Landscape of the soul. Where is the soul lies in this one? It is in the void place where the interaction takes place. Okay, this is what we have studied up to this time. There were many examples given. One regarding the Chinese painter Wu Daoji. He painted such a beautiful painting that when emperor asked him to prepare a painting to decorate the palace, one of the wall of the palace की एक wall को decorate करने के लिए he was asked to prepare a painting. एक painting prepared. When it was painted, when it was prepared and all, king, when the emperor saw it, it appreciated all the things. But the painter told, no, it's not like this. There is a split line there is a split in the cave of that painting. उसमें cave थी, and he wanted to show him. वो उसको show करना चाहता था. It was a beautiful actually. He told that inside there is a splendor, beauty is there. Even the word falls short. उसके लिए word कम पड़ जाते थे. That was the explanation. वो उसकी explanation दी. And what did he do? Actually, he clapped near the painting, and a door opened. वहाँ पर एक door open हुआ, and he entered into it. Before the king, actually, he wanted to lead. He wanted to show him, but after that, the door closed. It was closed, and before the king could react anything or he could say anything, the painting itself disappeared from the wall, and the painter achieved his goal. And the painter he wanted, and he was no more seen after that. It was the example in the 8th century. 8th century में था, and the another one. This is the example of this one. And now European painting. Actually, there was one blacksmith called Quentin Matsys. Blacksmith, those who are dealing with the iron and all, those लोहार का काम करते हैं. And he fell in love with a painter's daughter. एक painter's की daughter के साथ उसको love हो गया. And he was sure that the painter's her father would not accept him as a son-in-law in this profession. इस profession में उसको वो accept नहीं करेगा. Then what did he do? Actually, he went into the this painting room, and he painted a fly on the latest panel. उसके latest panel पर he painted a fly, and it was so beautifully he painted that even he tried to sweat it away. Sweat it away means he wanted to that chased him. उसको भगाना चाहता था. It means he was not sure whether it was a painting or it was a real fly. A real fly means that type of quality of painting. It is mentioned here. Okay, this is all the example of this one. And in Chinese, in the European, this was the concept actually, where the in European painting, the painter wants to borrow his eyes, and whereas in the Chinese, he wants not only the eyes but also mind also, because what the painter wants to show through that. उसके अंदर से painter क्या दिखाना चाहता है. Okay, so that is all about the this painting. Up to this, it was covered during the previous chapter. हमने previous chapter में ये cover कर लिया था. And let's start with the another one. इसको भी हम start करते हैं. Yes, we'll start with that. Yes. Now, and there were two concepts actually. Two elements are used in Chinese. The concept is expressed by shen shui. Shen shui literary means. What is the literary meaning of this one? Mountains and water. Shen shui means mountain, which is used to represent the landscape. Landscape means what piece of land. It is used to represent on the painting. Painting पे दो चीजें होती हैं. More than two elements of an image. These represent two complementary pole supporting each other. The pole reflecting the Taoist view of the universe. That means the way. उसमें रास्ता कैसे? The mountain is the yang. Yang क्या बोलते हैं? Mountain. Yang को Y-A-N-G. Yang. Mountain. It is vertical towards the heaven. Stable. It is stable. These are the quality of this one. Warm, dry in the sun. While the water is yin, Y-I-N. Yin is named horizontal, resting on the fluid resting on the earth, fluid, moist and cool. This is the difference, the contrast between them. The interaction of the yin, the receptive feminine aspect of the universal, means the yin is considered as a female rather you can say, and the yang is considered as a male, and its counterpart yang, active, masculine, course of the fundamental notion Taoism. Notion means idea and all. And what is often overlooked on the essential third element, means already these two elements, but the main important part is the third element. Uska third element है, which is very important. The middle void, where their action, where the interaction takes place between these two, where the interaction takes place. यहाँ पर जो this is the actually concept of this one Chinese painting takes place. Okay, this can be compared with the yogic practice of pranayam. इसको yogic practice जो yoga and all, it can be compared with that pranayam पे. Breathing in, retain and breathe out. All the three elements. Breathing in, retain and breathe out. The suspension of breath is the suspension of breath is the void where the meditation occurs. Suspension means all of dropping, and the middle void is the essential. This is very important part in the Chinese painting. The middle place, third element of the nothing can happen without it, and nothing will happen without it. Means when there is no interaction between yang and yin, it means that painting is not complete. Good painting is not. Hence, the importance of the white unpainted space in Chinese landscape means it is very important. It is very vital part of the Chinese painting. That is the third element, middle place, void place, whatever it is. This is also where the man finds a fundamental role. Means what is the fundamental role? वहाँ पर fundamental role मिलता है. In that space between heaven and earth, in between heaven and earth, and he becomes the conduit of the communication. Conduit means channel. Conduit means channel. You can keep on note down these words and all. He becomes the conduit of the communication between the poles of the universe, both the poles means the and he becomes the channel or means of communication from one pole to another pole. And his presence is essential. Means without the presence of, you can say now, without the presence of third element, बिना third element के this painting is not complete. And even if it is only suggested, it's only suggested, far from being lost or oppressed by the lofty peaks, very high peaks. It is far from lost by that one. It is suggested far from being, means it is not at all covered by those. And he is in Franco sang wonderful expression. Means this is one of the painting of this one. Franco sings, and the eyes of the landscape. Eyes of the landscape is the name of that painting given by the painter. Painter ने उसको इसका क्या नाम दिया था? That is eyes of the landscape. Landscape की जो eyes. Okay, that is one. Now there are one more example of the getting inside, outsider out. Getting inside and outsider art. Outsider art means those who are not having a formal education. When the French painter Jean Buffet mooted the concept of the art brut when it was just discovered first time. Art brut means raw, बच्चे उससे preparing with, because it is not that only painting is a art. Everything is a art. Writing is also a art. The expression, poetry, section, writing piece, everything is a art. And when he created something with the hand in 1940s, the art of the untrained visionary. Untrained means they have not received any sort of training, and they cannot be called a painter. उनको painter नहीं कह सकते. They have the inside painting quality. उनकी painter as a painter, they have got the inside quality. उनकी अपने अंदर की quality. Untrained visionary, and was one of the minority interest. Means at that time there was no much interest before 1940. Before 1940 there was no much interest. Actually, all those only those who are formally trained or those could be called painter, their painting and their arts was considered. But now there was an outside art from almost build beginnings, and when the build means actually covering its beginning, outsider art has gradually become the fastest growing area. outside art means those who are not trained as a artist, but still they are creating a lot of fine arts. And outsider art has gradually become the fastest growing area. So is growing area it has become of the interest of the contemporary art internationally throughout the world. It has become the very fast growing area, both the fast growing area in the international level, at the international level. It is because they were not trained, rather you can say they have not received any formal training in the arts में कोई भी formal training उन्हें नहीं मिली, but still it is considered as a one of the fastest growing area in the interest of the contemporary at that time. Contemporary समकालीन जिसको बोलते हैं, art internationally. And this genre is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists. Means we can't call him artist. Why we can't call him artist? Because they have not received any formal education. उनको एक proper formal according to the rules education they have not given. As they have received no formal training, yet show talent and artistic insight. Which means they show talent and they are artistic insight. उनके अंदर ही artist is there. And their works are the stimulating contrast. उनका जो work है stimulating, creating a interest or sensation, contrast to a lot of mainstream offerings. Whatever the painting is done, whatever the art is being created by the real art artist means those who have received the formal education. जिनको formal education मिली है, it can be compared with that, or it is better even sometimes with the stimulating contrast. मतलब उनको बिल्कुल opposite. And they are creating. It is a fast growing area. This area is growing very fastly. Means that those who are having a artistic insight, artistic quality of the art, insight means bypass, and yet show the talent and artistry. Their work are the stimulating contrast to a lot of mainstream offering. Around the time Duffet was the propounding his concept. He was propounding around the time Duffet was propounding his concept. So his concept so he was trying to explain in India and untutored. जब ये उस time कर रहा था, in India also there was one, rather you can say years, a untutored genius was creating a paradise. Untutored, not given any training, formal training was not given, but he was creating a universe paradise. What was that? Genius. Who was that? Nek Chand in Chandigarh, the rock garden, you might have heard about that. आप सभी ने देखा होगा. It is a creation of Nek Chand. Genius was creating a paradise the years ago. The little patch of jungle that has begun clearing to make himself a garden with some stones and recycled material. Whatever the waste material. What is the specialty of this garden? Actually, it is prepared with the waste material, totally waste material से बनाया गया. And years ago, a little patch of jungle, some part of the jungle, it was cleared. वहाँ से clear किया गया. That began to clearing to make himself a garden sculpting making. He started making the garden. उसको garden बनाना शुरू किया with stone के साथ recycled material, already material which is being recycled, which means waste material, is known to the world today as the rock garden at Chandigarh, जो चंडीगढ़ में rock garden के नाम से जाना जाता है. That was the means the creation of Nek Chand, and he is also a outsider art, can be called outsider art, because outsider means without any proof, raw material, without any formal education. It's 80 years old creator. इसका जो 80 years का old creator director Nek Chand is now hailed as India's biggest contributor to the outsider art. He is the biggest contributor. सबसे ज़्यादा उसका योगदान है to the outsider art. The 50th issue of the spring 2005 of the Raw Vision. It's the name of that book. Book का नाम है जहाँ पर ये publish होते हैं. Vision. A UK based magazine. एक UK की magazine है. Pioneer is outside art publication. जो outsider art के ऊपर publish करती है. They are whatever the arts they being prepared by the outsider arts. And the feature Nek Chand, जो features है Nek Chand के, and his rock garden sculpture woman by the waterfall on its anniversary issues cover. Issues cover issue means that book published on that cover, and it was given to a woman by the waterfall. Waterfall के ऊपर दिखाया गया है by the woman, and it is a issue first book published in that. The notion of brute art or the raw art. Now, what is the idea of the brute art or the raw art? Was of the work that were in their raw state. Means it was a work of the material which was in their raw state, kacha, जो भी उनका, waste material था. Raw state as regards cultural and the artistic influences, artistic influences के हिसाब से, मतलब it was not at all considered any useful item. Anything had everything from a tin. Means in this garden he had used anything from everything. हर चीज उसने यूज की थी. Anything and everything from a tin, एक tin से लेकर to a sink, a broken down car, be material, मतलब एक broken down टूटी हुई car, material for the work of art. इस art के लिए मतलब he has used all this, ये use की. And something Nixon had taken a dizzying height, or is a dizzying height. Dizzying height means very high from where you are unable to see at the bottom, जहाँ से आप नीचे नहीं देख सकते, or underneath you can't see that height. Recognizing his art and outstanding testimony of the difference, और ये एक तरह की art है. It has outstanding testimony means certificate, outstanding, बहुत अच्छा है उसका certificate. Difference a single man can make. ये एक छोटा व्यक्ति, मतलब जैसे कई बार बोलते हैं one single man cannot do anything or cannot do all these things, but he has created this. Make when he lives his dream. Means if you are having a dream and if you are working for that, it means the dream is not what you just observe during sleep. जो सोते हुए सपने लेते हैं वो नहीं होते. The dream is that they do not allow you to sleep until it is turned into reality. जब तक ये वास्तविकता में ना बदल जाए तब तक आपको सोने नहीं. That should be the dream. वो dream होती है. And the broken down car, material for the art. Something nature has taken a dizzying height, एक dizzying height. Recognizing his art as a outstanding testimony. अपनी art को एक outside testimony सोचते हुए of the difference a single man can make, कि एक व्यक्ति कितना difference कर सकता है when he lives his dream, जब वो अपने सपनों के साथ होता है. And the Swiss Commission for UNESCO will be honoring him by the way of the European expositions of his work. Exposition, creation of his work means he was UNESCO, United Nations Children Education, and he was given a honor by the Swiss Commission of UNESCO will be honoring him by the way of European exposition of his work. अपने काम के लिए यूरोप का. And the 5th month interactive show, और जो 5th month का था शो था, 5th month, the 5 months interactive show realism of a nation, means this was just it took 5 months to create that one. And the beginning October will be held at the leading museum in Switzerland. Switzerland is leading museum. It will be given that honor or that reward will be given to nature. The Belgium, France, and Italy. These were in the museum in Switzerland, Belgium, France, and Italy. इनके म्यूजियम में उसको दिखाया जाएगा. And the biggest reward is walking through the. Now he is considering whatever the reward he is getting for his creation in the outside art, brute art, and he is telling the biggest reward. उसका जो सबसे बड़ा reward. He may be getting all reward from the different countries like Belgium, France, and Italy. The biggest reward is walking through the garden and seeing people enjoying my creation. But he is feeling which is biggest reward for me. मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा reward कौन सा है? When I see the people walking through my garden, जब मैं अपने garden में से लोगों को जाते हुए देखता हूँ. Nature. This is statement is given by nature. Nature. Sometimes there may be a question: what are the contributions to the outside art by nature? Nature. He created a rock garden in Chandigarh. It is one of the famous, and it is made up of the complete raw material. That's why it is known as a brute or raw art. Brute or raw art. Okay. Yes, brute or raw art. Okay. So this was the chapter, and once again we will have the recap of this one. And tomorrow we will go for the uh, interactive session. Means directly you will be asking the question, and directly we will be discussing the complete chapter. Now in this chapter there were two types of the landscape of soul. What do you mean by the landscape of the soul? The piece of soul, the landscape. Landscape means there are two material mainly mentioned, that is the water and the mountains. And the landscape, that is a piece of landscape. Soul, where it lies, that is the third element, void place, where the interaction takes place. Interaction. There were two mainly examples given. One is from the Chinese, and another one is from the European painting. Chinese painting, Hu Daoji, who was in 8th century, 8th century में था. He was a very famous painter, बहुत ही अच्छा painter था. The emperor, the emperor Jiang, Chinese king, when the emperor he Jianzhong, he ordered to prepare a painting, एक painting बनाने के लिए, to decorate the wall of his palace, अपने palace की wall को decorate करने के लिए. And when this was ready at that time, and he praised each and everything because it was so nice painting, एक इतनी अच्छी painting थी. He appreciated everyone. But actually the painter wanted something else. He wanted to show something else. And he told him, sir, I want to show you some real painting. What is not being mentioned, so इसमें not being painted. And he told that on the foot of that mountain, उसके foot of mountain में, and there lives a spirit, वहाँ पर एक आत्मा है. And he just clapped near to that, उसके नजदीक उसने clap किया, and a door opened, एक दरवाजा खुला, and he entered into. He told that it's beautiful, it is having very beauty or splendid beauty inside. And then he entered inside, going उसके अंदर enter. And before he could say anything, the door closed. And door closed, the emperor could not go inside. And before he could react anything, जिससे कि वो कोई react, because all of a sudden in a painting the door opened by clapping hands, and again it is closed after he has gone inside. The painting itself disappeared from the wall. उस wall से वो painting ही disappear हो जाती. What is splendid painting? What the painter wanted to convey through this one, and he has achieved this. Actually, whatever he wanted to achieve, the painter wanted to achieve, and he was disappeared. This painting disappeared, and the painter was no more seen after. उसके बाद वो painter दिखाई नहीं दिया. That was it means the landscape of the painting. There is a soul in it. And now there was another example of the European painting. European painting, one blacksmith called the Quentin Matsis, he fell in love with a daughter of a painter, एक painter की daughter के साथ. The father would not accept him in such profession because he was a blacksmith. He would not accept him. वो उसको accept नहीं करेगा. And so Quentin sneaked into the painter in a studio. He went into the studio and he painted a fly on the latest panel. On the latest panel, he painted a fly. He painted a fly, and after that, so when the painter came there, he tried to sweat it away. उसने उसको sweat करने की कोशिश की. Sweat means fly, chasing. उसको chase करने की कोशिश की. Yes, try to. Yes. And then there was another example. Give them these words. Then it means the mountains and water. Mountains and water. Water or mountain. And what is the mountain? The mountain is known as a male particular, yang, reaching vertically towards the hand. It is stable, warm, dry in sun, while the water is yin, that is yang, Y-A-N-G, yang, and it is yin, horizontal, resting on the earth, fluid, moist and cool, full of moisture and all. It is very cool, and it is the yin, the receiving the energy, receptive, feminine aspects of the universal energy, तो universal energy का feminine receptive. And another one is the very active, masculine, and it is very active. Mountain is masculine and very active. And what is the actually third place? Now these are the two elements, but main is the third place. That is the landscape of the soul. Soul. It is the void place. Third element we call it. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Third element where the interaction takes place. यहाँ पर interaction takes place. And this is with the yogic exercise. Okay, it has been compared with the yogic exercise. इनको yogic exercise के साथ compare किया गया है. That is breathing in, retaining, and breathing out. And breathing out. These are the main three things actually. It has been breathing in. The suspension of breath is the void where the meditation of suspension, छोड़ना, सांस को, is the void place, खाली जगह होती है. First, breathing in, holding there, retaining, and then breathing. It means that is the main action takes place. The middle void essential. Nothing can happen without it. इसके बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Hence the importance of while unpainted space in Chinese landscape. It means that in the Chinese painting, in Chinese art, this is the importance of the unpainted portion. Unpainted portion. Okay, this is given in. Next, we talked about the actually getting outsider art. What is outsider art? It means the art done by those artists, those who are having a insight in insight artistic. It means they are having the quality of artist by birth, by birth, and they have not received any formal education. They cannot be called a painter. उनको artist नहीं कह सकते. Okay, they cannot be called artists, and that's why they are this is known as the outsider. But it is a very growing area, काफी growing area है, and many painters. In India also, one of the painters is called Nek Chand. Is Nek Chand, who has created the rock garden at Chandigarh. Chandigarh में जो rock garden. What is the speciality of that rock garden? It is prepared with all raw material, from the tin to the broken car. बड़ी सी छोटी सी चीज, everything, cup, plates, everything, the broken pieces, whatever the waste material or recycled material he used, and he has been given reward for that. उसके बाद काफी उसको reward मिला हुआ. And but he is telling, according to nature, the best or the greatest reward for him is that when he saw the people walking through the garden. जब उस garden में से लोग मतलब चल रहे होते हैं, and he saw the people, उनको देखता है, that is the greatest rather can say reward for ये उसके लिए सबसे बड़ा reward. Okay, this was all about your question. Tomorrow we will go for this one. Tomorrow we will go for the textual portion, and we will go for the question. Different type of question will be discussed. Okay, students. Now one by one, let's see if you understood the chapter. Who will try to speak? Okay, Sukhdev, raise your hand. Don't try to go. Sukhdev, raise your hand. Sukhdev, if you understood the chapter, raise your hand. अपना हाथ उठा लीजिए. Come on, Sukhdev. Or you are not present. Nandani, yes, Nandani, your stream. If you are present, if you understood the chapter, raise your hand. Nandani Rana, row number 21. Come on, raise your hand. Not present. Okay. Yadeep, let me see how many students are there. Yadeep, yes, okay. Still. Okay, Upender Rana, raise your hand. Let me see. Upender. Yes, okay. Abhay Rana. Yes. Yadeep. Okay, over. Yes. Row number 19. Okay. Nandani. Where is gone? Sukhdev, where are you? Let me see whether you are active or you are sleeping. Come on, Sukhdev, raise your hand if you understood the chapter, if there is no doubt about the chapter. Come on, or if you want to ask anything, you can ask also. Yes, Sukhdev. Yes, okay, rest everyone. Okay, some reaction is shown. Good, no problem. There is an option in your mobile actually. You have to just raise your hand. It means you are active, no problem. That is your technical problem. You are unable to raise your hand. Okay, students, let's. Your chapter is over, and tomorrow we will go for the textual exercise. Whatever the textual questions are given, and different type of questions will be asked. Let's see. We will discuss and try to participate. Tomorrow we will have a feedback session. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss, and I'll allow you to speak directly. Okay. Yes, sir. You can wind up the meeting. Sir. Chapter is over. Topic is over. You can wind up the meeting.